Psychedelic Heroes, Cream and the Moody Blues, The Hidden History. Written by Geoffrey Giuliano. Narrated by Geoffrey Giuliano.
From the sooty, faceless metropolis of Birmingham, England. They were neither media darlings like the Beatles nor scandalous ruffians like the Rolling Stones. Yet their mystical lyricism and floating melodies soon set them on a distinctly higher plane. The fact is, the Moody Blues stand alone as the only group of their class to present contemporary music as a legitimate and original art form. The band's unique chemistry was spawned in its eclectic roots. Keyboardist Mike Pinder, a professional musician from the age of 12, and harp player Ray Thomas, leader of the popular Latin-influenced El Riot and the Rebels, honed their craft in various beat and skiffle groups. Graham Edge, by contrast, the fifth generation of a well-known theatrical family, was drawn to jazz, polishing his drumming skills with local heroes Jerry Levine and the Avengers. In 1964, this trio of stellar talents teamed up with Denny Lane, a folk and beat guitarist who disbanded his Denny and the Diplomats in favor of the more biting R&B sound sweeping Britain. Along with guitarist Clint Warwick, the newly formed combo made their auspicious debut at Birmingham's Colton Ballroom on May 2nd, 1964. It was the birth of the blues, the Moody Blues. Gaining an immediate following in London clubs The Crawdaddy and Marquee, the band captured instant fame with a cover of Bessie Banks' R&B classic Go Now, featuring Denny's raw, soulful delivery against Pinder's hammering piano. Catapulted by the meteoric success of a sizzling #1 single, the Moodies embarked on 2 European tours, first with Chuck Berry and later as the opening act for the Beatles. Yet as quickly as fame struck, the Moodies' fortunes soon plunged. Their bluesy staples were growing stale in the fading R&B market, and their follow-up singles all but bombed. Agency mismanagement, too, left them flat broke. In 1966, both Clint Warwick and Denny Lane abandoned ship. Lane to pursue a solo career, which eventually led to his being named co-commander of Paul McCartney and Wings. The remaining 3, however, hung tough, determined to fill out the 2 vacancies and follow out their musical vision. First on board was John Lodge, a former colleague in El Riot and the Rebels, returning to his first love of music after obtaining an engineering degree. But it was the final edition of Swindon-born Justin Hayward, a boyishly handsome, extraordinary singer, guitarist, and composer, who would lay the indelible cornerstone of the Moodies in their second incredible incarnation. Discarding their stiff blues suits and R&B covers, the new lineup stole away to Belgium to hone their brave new sound. Audiences were instantly captivated by their compelling esoteric images, with sublime titles like Fly Me High and Love and Beauty. By their return to Britain in late 1966, the Moodies were ready to stamp their remarkable thumbprint on rock and roll. Over the next 6 years, the Moodies established themselves as ever-evolving musical innovators, cosmic explorers in search of the lost chord, social critics posing a question of balance, and age-old raconteurs on 1972's acclaimed Seventh Sojourn, which launched the rocket-powered I'm Just a Singer in a Rock and Roll Band. Impeccable attention to detail became the group's hallmark, from their meticulous overdubs to their sophisticated album sleeves. As with the Beatles' ambitious Apple Corps, the Moodies set up their own corporation, Threshold, which oversaw a record and song publishing company, along with several boutiques and a dedicated resolve to cultivate new artists. Here, group founder Mike Pinder recalls the early roots of the band.
I was in the British Army in Germany because the music business in England was dead during this was 1960, 61-ish. And I joined the Army because it was something my family had been into, in terms of, all of the men had served military service and all of that kind of thing. And I'd heard all these wonderfully romantic stories of being in the service.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?